So this one asks to subtract b minus a. So that's what we're going to do. So go ahead and, put in your b. Minus a. And we're going to subtract, and we can do that because they have the same dimensions. Always, it's always a good idea to rewrite these like this, because when you're going from, the original matrices, then, I don't know, sometimes I guess it's confusing to go back and forth. All right, so go ahead and do that. And then when you're done with part A, go ahead and move on to part B. Okay? I'll give you about 2 minutes to do those two. Okay? I'll stop this for a few minutes. Make sure for part B you do order of operations as is stated here. So it's 2 times A first, then you add it to B. Now, on a test or a quiz, or even on homework, please make sure, like, these are not very tricky. They're rather straightforward. So I want you to concentrate on form, right? So please make sure that when you write a matrix, like, that you show them properly. So, this plus that, it equals that, and so on, right? I want to see that you have proper mathematical form. All right, so here we have a matrix A, and then this matrix should be capital B. And it says that we need to do 3b minus 4a. All right, so let's see what 3b, minus 4a looks like. So 3b, if I multiply this B matrix by 3, I'm going to get 3 lowercase b and then negative 6. Does that make sense? And now it's minus, and now I want to multiply this A matrix by 4, so that'll be 12 and 4a. Please make sure that the variables inside are consistent, they're lowercase, and the variables outside, like the names of the matrices, are consistently uppercase. Now, what are the dimensions of these matrices? What's the dimension of this one? 2 by 1 and 2 by 1. So my resulting matrix also has to be 2 rows, 1 column. Now, if I add the first entries, it'll be 3b minus 12, and that's one entry of its own. 3b minus 12, it's a thing, right? It's like one thing. And then here, negative 6 minus 4a. Okay, it's one entry. It's not negative 6, and then so this is still a 2 by 1. Okay, so you can very well have variables in there. Okay, all right. Now, you guys were asking yesterday, or one of you was asking last time, what exactly are these matrices used for, right? Well, if you have like 3 pieces of information that you want to sort of, or 3 layers of information that you want to organize in a matrix, all right? That you want to organize, a matrix is the best way to do it. So take a look here. The table below shows the highway and city gas mileage of 5 different types of vehicles, right? So what you have here is the vehicle type, so SUV, minivan, and so on. And then the MPGs by city and highway. Okay. And it says to organize this gas mileage in a 2 by 5 matrix. This, what you have now, is a chart. That's not a matrix. You want it to be a 2 by 5 matrix, so you're going to have 2 rows and 5 columns. That means it's going to look like this, and you're going to arrange your information in here. So 23, 21, 21, 42, 61, 25, 24, 32, 49, 70. If it had said 5 by 2, then you would have had to flip it over. All right? So that's that. 5 by 2 would be this way. So this row becomes a column. So 23, 21, 21, 42, 61, like that. It really doesn't matter as long as like you switch everything else that you're going to use consistently. Okay? Okay. So that's the matrix, and we don't write the titles because we know, right? If you write the title, then it's a chart. And now it says add the elements in each row of this one to interpret the results. Do they present any relevant information? So if I were to add the first row, right? What would I get? So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them, right? So 20, 40, 60, 120, 160, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 168. Yes. Okay, so look, it's 23, 21, 21, and so on, right? What's 23 made of? It's a 20 and a 3. So add the 20 to the other 20 to the other 20, that's 60. To the 40, that's 100. To the 60, that's 160. And then add all the ones places. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 168. Okay? Okay, what have we done now? What have we done? Okay, yay, there were 5 numbers, and now we added them. Yay for us. Okay? Now it says interpret the results. What is this? What is the 168? Like, it's the number of what?
It's like gas mileage.
Gas mileage of what, though? Yeah, it's the sum of the gas mileages of all the different cars in the city. Is that in any way a useful piece of information? Like, does that make sense? Is that relevant to anything? No, it's not, right? And that's the point of this is, okay, I added this. I now know what it stands for. Is that any relevant piece of information? Can I use that anywhere? Is that something that I want to use? Because later, when we do our other stuff, you're going to see that you're adding, let's say, other values like cost, number of items sold, and so on. And you want to be able to see if if what you're doing makes sense. Okay, so 168. The more important part of this is that this is the sum of MPGs of all the cars in, so it's the sum of like city MPGs, and it's not relevant. Okay, this also, like a lot of times when I'm listening to the news, right, they throw all these numbers out there, and I'm just like, okay, that number, like that's nothing, that's a meaningless number, it has no value. So it's important for us to know where these numbers come from.